So this is a plan set that I printed off Thingiverse. You can notice that it has this cluster gear that makes this a compound gear set. First of all, on Thingiverse, it's a lot smaller. So within the Prusa slicer, I enlarged it by 250%. The challenge is, though, when you're trying to, let's say, share this with young people, they might not see that smaller gear on the bottom side of it. So I wanted to first try to build a plate that would allow you the option of doing things differently. So if you're teaching a person about, gear sets, they can learn if this is 10 teeth and this is 30 teeth, then they can see that this is a 3-to-1 ratio, and they can learn that this reverse idler only acts like an idler and it has no impact on the ratio between this gear and this gear. However, if you wanted to make it a compound gear set, I've made it in such a way that you can pull this pin out, place it in here, and now you have a double ratio of a compound gear set. So you have this ratio of 10 teeth and 25 teeth, which is a 2.5-to-1, and then you have 10 teeth with 30 teeth, which is 3-to-1. So if you multiply that 3-to-1 and 2.5-to-1, then you can see now you have the overall 7.5-to-1 ratio. So you pass that around in a classroom environment, that's a little bit easier for students to get when they physically put their hands on it. So when they're seeing, this 3-to-1 versus the 7.5-to-1. Then I got to thinking, like, well, maybe it would be better if I'd shave this plate down a little bit so that we could just actually have gears in mesh, so that if we're now wanting to say we want to spin it in this direction or something of that nature, you can now add additional gears in mesh. So that's why I've done that. But I'll probably go ahead and put this plate and this pin on Thingiverse, and then I'll put the file for this enlarged gear set. But you can see these pins right now. I just have where you can just slide the pins in, the pins come out, and then I made this a step. And the reason I made it a step is so that if you wanted to just have just a traditional gear ratio, it doesn't need the step, it just holds it in place. But then if you need it to be elevated to pick up this, then you flip it upside down, and then you can have it in that case.